أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, just under the passage of His mention of Ramadan, He says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. The translation of which is, and when my servants ask you about me, then indeed I am close. Now there's a very brief compilation of words, but there's so much to take from this. And we can really feel, a person who tries to think about this ayah, can really feel the love, the mercy, the grace of Allah Ta'ala emanating from these words. Every word has a depth of mercy, care, rahmah in it from Allah Ta'ala. Now, the fact that Allah Ta'ala used وَإِذَا and didn't say وَإِن, He said, and when my servants ask you about me. He could have said, and if my servants ask you about me. But the difference between if and when is, my respected listeners, that you only say if when you have a doubt whether it will occur or not. Number one. Number two, you say if when you are emotionally disconnected or you don't have hope, like the mother or the father whose son has gone to a different country to fight or to study, or has gone to a dangerous part of the world for travel and tourism or whatever it may be. When the mother and the father mention that child to their son or daughter, they don't say, if my child will return. Although they may know really that this person is in a very dangerous place, he could very well die. He may not return. She may not return. But they will say, when my child will return. Why? They are vocalizing hope. They are verbalizing something which is in their heart, their feeling, their emotion. So I respect it is the fact that Allah Ta'ala is so great and we are so small. How small is the earth in the whole solar system, which is just the small sun and the remaining planets? How small is the earth? So many times we can put the earth inside the sun itself, and the sun is only one star. And how many stars in this galaxy itself, and how many galaxies in the whole universe? So I respect it, listening. How small and insignificant are we to Allah? But look how Allah Ta'ala is approaching me and you. And one in many billions, Allah says, but when my servants, so Allah is hoping I will ask about Him. So when my servants ask you about me, then indeed I am close. So subhanAllah, what did Allah Ta'ala say we have to do to become close to Him? He said you have to just ask. Just ask. So remember the other ahadith we've studied. And there's a passage in the Bible as well that says, you take one step towards me, I take two steps towards you. I was studying this ayah with a Christian today. And I asked them, what do you gauge from this ayah? And this lady, this Christian lady, she said that, well, there's a passage in the Bible that says, when you stepped one towards me, I will step two towards you. And this is kind of the same thing. And I had never thought of the ayat in that relation. But after what she mentioned, I realized that Allah is asking you to just ask. And He's willing to be right here. Right here close to me. And when Allah Ta'ala is close, He's أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. He's closer to you than even our jugular veins. So what does that mean? Jugular vein is a unique vein in the world. It's a unique blood vessel in our body. It's the blood vessel which has a connection to the heart. And it also has a blood vessel which is connected to the brain. So Allah Ta'ala is intellectually very close. Very close. And He is emotionally very close. So He knows our emotional state better than even our closest friend, our closest family member. And He didn't say He's close to us as our jugular vein. He said, Aqrab. He's closer. My respected listeners, this transaction is a transaction, give and take. So Allah said, give me su'al. Just ask about me. Ask about me. And what will I give? I will give you the benefit of being close to me. I will be close to you. فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. So, and that's one thing. So we've taken something from وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ. We've taken from سَأَلَ. Because if you just ask Allah, then Allah is willing to be very close to you. Last thing I would like to highlight, there's much more we can take from this ayah, but Allah Ta'ala says, when they ask you, He's talking to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And my respected listeners, it's sad that we as a group of believers and a group of sheep, and our shepherd being Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we are a flock of His ummah. We feel we can get to Allah without Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But Allah Ta'ala highlighted, look, I will be close to you. But only then when you ask Him. Ask who? Ask Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So if we're trying to get to Allah Ta'ala via Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then we have the promise of qurb. And so close that He is of deep benefit. My respected listeners and others, every day we get a chance to be close to Allah Ta'ala. And sometimes we don't spare the time with our own. Allah Ta'ala says, look, it's of benefit to you, so I will make you spare that time. It's like the baby, the child in the home won't feel the need for broccoli and greens and Brussels sprouts and lettuce and cucumber. It doesn't feel the need. And he's young. Because he's young, he doesn't feel the fluctuations of insulin. He doesn't feel the fluctuations and the impact of cholesterol. He's young. But as a guiding nutritionist, as a understanding parent, not a nutritionist by profession, but somebody who's just lived the life and been through the benefits and ups and downs of food and its content, you will not wait for that boy, wait for that girl to feel the need for broccoli. But your love and your admiration and your care and your affection for that child will push you to command him to have broccoli. Son, you must have broccoli today. Son, yes, you had your chocolate, but you should also have your apple today. If we can accept this relationship with somebody who's a few years older than us, somebody who was just the carrier of us, did not create us, our parents, they just carried us into this world. What about the one who designed us? What about the one who programmed us? How well does He know me and you? Throughout the Quran, Allah Ta'ala didn't say, this will do this and I will get this benefit. Do that, I will get this benefit. No, never. He always says, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَشْكُرُونَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. Maybe they will benefit. Maybe they will become more grateful. Maybe they will become more straight. Allah didn't say, I want you to worship me. Maybe I will be content with your worship. Who are we? We are smaller than ants in the creation of Allah Ta'ala. Very insignificant. So let's come out of this bubble and this misconception into thinking that Allah Ta'ala needs mine and your prostrations. The parent doesn't need the child to have broccoli for the parent to remain healthy. For the parent to have a good digestive system, it doesn't need fluids upon fluids and water content. It's the love for the child that pushes the parent to command the child. My respected listeners and elders, let's take note that of all the things we do today, the most important job of our day today was probably Salah.
Absolutely.
But normally when we take account of our day, we will remember, how did I cook iftar? Ask everybody, how was iftar today? MashaAllah. How was suhoor today? MashaAllah. or I made this for you, how was it? I ironed your clothes, how was it? Or we take feedback from each other, I did this, what do you think of my video? But do we think for once that how was my Dhuhr today? How was my Asr today? How was my Fajr today? It was the most important job. Every job has subhanAllah, nowadays, especially in this country, every service we give, we always ask for feedback. Even the NHS, even the receptionists at the doctors and the surgeries, even every single shop will always say, we appreciate your feedback. They might even say, we'll reward you for it. You'll be put into a reward system and you may win if you fill in this survey. Everyone appreciates feedback about their services. They've done something to serve you and they want feedback from you. Have we thought about the feedback Allah will give me and you for the salah we served Him with today? Today's Asr, today's Dhuhr, today's Fajr. We prostrated before Him. What do we think Allah thinks about it? So my respected brothers, Ramadan facilitates these thoughts. Because the Quran says, إِذَا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Hope, salah, siyam is not there for Allah. Because لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. You may become more conscious. You may become more aware. You won't become so neglectful and just pass the time of life on the conveyor belt of neglect. No. So I respected brothers and elders, I always try to push for this. Next time we go into sajda, think what we are saying. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. My Lord is perfect. My Master is glorified. He's the Most High. When's the last time? Sometimes we read Tahiyyatu Lillah, especially in Taraweeh. Tahiyyatu Lillahi wa salawatu wa tayyibat. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi. Allahumma salli ala barik alayhi. Next day, did you even think of Rasulullah? I ask you, when we from Allahu Akbar to Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, when we said Allahu Akbar, did we ever think of how great Allah is? Okay, let's say we didn't think of it in all the 10 times, but at least one of them, you said it about 10, 15 times. We said Allahu Akbar about 10, 15 times. Did you ever stop to think, wow, Allah is very great. Allah is greater than my problems. Allah is greater than my situation. Allah is greater than my ego. Allah is greater than my calamities. Allah is the greatest of great. Allah is greater than any request I put before Him. Nothing is too small, too big for Him. Because Allah is Akbar. Allah is the greatest. So my respected brothers and sisters, just a short reminder for everybody about the Quran and how Allah Ta'ala bonds with me and you personally in the Quran. Next time we lift that supreme book of Allah's, let's try to think what it is that Allah Ta'ala is telling me and you. Stop at an ayah, maybe ponder about it. And say, what is Allah saying? What is it? Just reflect. Talk to someone about it. Allah Ta'ala bless me and you to develop more and more connection with the Quran, develop more and more reflection with the Quran. May Allah Ta'ala take distractions out of our life. Make dua for this. Ya Allah, take distractions out of my life. Those distractions which are taking me and keeping me away from your word, keeping me away from your connection. People that are not on the true religion of Islam are making big sacrifices for their work, big sacrifices. Even for work, we say, okay, children, you need to go now. When it's working hours, children, you need to go now, you need to go. We know because they're distractions. They're our children, we love them. But when it comes to work, we say, no, it's time for, So things in our life that are a cause of diversion from the word of Allah Ta'ala, it only makes sense. It's only wisdom. It's only intellect for me and you to override them, to remove them, to highlight them, to understand them, and to move them away and focus on our qibla. The qibla, not only the qibla of the direction of our salah. That just focuses my mindset. Why does Allah Ta'ala say face the qibla? Is He not everywhere? As in, is His knowledge and His independence not with us all the time? He doesn't need me and you, He doesn't need the Kaaba for me and you to worship. It's because Allah Ta'ala wants me to understand that refocus. We should not live in the world without a direction. Everything in our life should be with a purpose. We've come from somewhere, we're going somewhere. We're not just in the middle, in this vacuum, in this void, in this emptiness. We don't know where we came from, we don't know where we're going. It's not like that. Every action of ours has a direction, and the direction is Allah Himself. Salah only shows that in physical form. But we should be living a life of salah throughout. May Allah Ta'ala bless me and you to understand what has been heard and said. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Jazakallah. Alhamdulillah.